Hey there, welcome to Wyckoff Technical Analysis session for Bitcoin Cash. Bitcoin Cash, even though it followed across the board drop yesterday, it successfully reclaimed the key level of $530, this yellow key level. The significance of that is that it remains within the horizontal trading area or this trading range started back in July 21st that week. So it remains the chance to challenge a higher peak given the fact that it's continued to stay within the zone. It's exhibiting a very interesting behavior that hasn't happened for 3 to 4 years already. So let's dive into both the weekly and daily charts and see where Bitcoin Cash is heading. If you're new to my sessions, these are the three things I want you to take away from each of these live sessions. One is currently what Wyckoff stages Bitcoin Cash is at and which stage is heading to. Two, the key price levels that are going to impact the more close-term price actions, and then eventually the breakout timing. If there are any patterns in the charts that I observe, a breakout point is near, I'll mention to you as well. So this is the weekly chart. What we're having here, like I said, even though we've got a very long way challenging almost all the way to the 450 key level, the price or the bulls successfully pushed the price back to about 530, and that's a big win for them, I would say. So all these tags, these blue tags here, I'm still keeping the question mark because during this period, it looks like it's exhibiting potential PSY behavior. So that's another scenario in addition to the purple, because another purple, the blue. Because the blue, basically, we can assume the buying climax happened somewhere back in 21st of July. And then there was a second test, somewhere lower closed, and then eventually a quick upthrust over here. But then that's very intense. Not that it's impossible, but sometimes during the PSY period, we have these kind of behavior as well. So that's why it leads me to think of a second scenario, the yellow scenario, where the Bitcoin Cash is still within an early stage of distribution. So it may enter another high, hopefully challenging the 700 key level. That's the level where April 2024 hit. And also one significance here is if the price goes outside of this pink box, it basically crushed the hypothesis that it has a declining trend pattern, declining peak trend pattern. So look at this peak over here, this buying climax back in April 2024. This one, December 2024. And eventually, this one, the highest point we had, September 15th. These peaks, unfortunately, follow a declining trend line. If we discount the wick, it's even more obvious. But then let's keep it that way. The key point is we hope to see the peak outside of this pink box, meaning passing the midline between the Greek key level of 615 and the key level of 700. So best for whether it's buying climax or upthrust of the distribution, doesn't matter. Basically, the high of this cycle, at least it should hit 700. That's very key. So as for the next stage for this over here, I just want to switch it to line chart. So we can see there were dips, but I just want to make it simple that this is, let's say, a sign of weakness over here and another one here. This one we just discounted. This we can potentially consider that as an LPSY, preliminary supply, and that's what leads to what I'm going to talk about. After a sign of weakness, there can be another last point of supply before it challenges this yellow key level again and breaks towards the downside and heads towards the accumulation cycle. That's one way it can happen. If it's the yellow scenario, however, the higher possibility for it to reach a buying climax. So it will not have this LPSY, but instead head straight to the climax over there. So this LPSY, you can consider this as part of this over here, but that's only apply for the blue scenario. So 20% towards the upside in the blue scenario and 80% towards the downside as of this moment. Also, the Bollinger Band counter squeeze, we are seeing the purple lines are coming in quickly while the orange are heading outwards. So a squeeze will happen very soon. When that happens, you see what happened over here. There were big price swings afterwards. So be prepared for that to come. Whether or not it's going to swing to the climax or it's going to swing towards the accumulation cycle, it's too early to tell, but honestly speaking, it worries me a bit because of this downward trend line theory. That's why I'm putting high percentage towards the downside. So be really careful whether you are seeing it going to the upside or seeing it going to the downside. Remember to put in your stop loss, because we have entered a very fluctuating period for crypto across the board. And for the daily time frame, even though we had that crazy price drop yesterday, big volume, somewhat close to what we had in early September and late July. So even though it's crazy just because we have gone through a low period since mid-September. And this over here, obviously this has happened. It's become 100%. It's even lower than the previous sign of weaknesses, but is somewhere around the automatic reaction. So that's, again, pretty normal. So also, besides the level it reached for the sign of weakness, the price currently, actually yesterday closed within this downward channel box that we've drawn in previous sessions, and the current price is going back to above the yellow key level. So that's again not something unexpected. So what's expected then, you may ask, is for the price to do its ping pong action, meaning it's totally normal behavior for the price to challenge the ceiling and the bottom of the channel box. It happens that way almost always. So you see the ping pong, and then along the center, and then come back down, and just to challenge up, come back to the center, challenge up, come back down. That's very normal, and that's continuing just towards another direction right now. And time point, we're getting to. Let me extend the box. So given it's trading within this area now, it has re-entered above the yellow key level of 530. We see this November 12th. So before November 12th, assuming the price is continuing its trade below the white line and above the yellow, by middle of November, actually it would before that date, the breakout will happen. So either it break towards the downside below the 530 yellow key level again, following the downtrend box, which we are kind of expecting it to happen, or it's going to break towards the upside, meaning discontinuing this downward channel box, re-challenge this white key level, and then this green key level of 615. Let me check the white. It should be the ceiling of the long-term playground zone. Yes. So it's definitely a key level over there. So this white box, the ceiling, around 575. That's another level price has to challenge before it can go up to show us an uprise of the distribution, where I said it's probably around 30% chance up there. So again, if it really comes down, what's next? Let's see whether that would develop into an LPSY, last point of supply. We have one over here. This question mark can be removed. It's confirmed now. And the second one may be on its way. And then it will come back down to challenge this level again. Like I said, if it follows this downward channel. Let's see what happens from now. There's still 1 month from this time point of November 12th. So we're still early. If it really shoots up to touch the ceiling at this very close time interval, the breakout point will be October 22nd. So before that date, if the price is trading within this triangle, the breakout side of this downward channel box or re-enter towards the downside challenging the yellow would happen. Either one of those cases. And if it's coming to the downside, it's going to be tricky because it's no longer sign of weakness. If it falls below that level, that would be a preliminary support for the early accumulation cycle. If the price really falls below here, there is a green intermediate level that we have drawn. Let's change that to a dashed line, not to mistaken this as a key level. So basically I've extended this line from the peaks of the previous PSY level back in November 2024, the automatic reaction December 2024, and then LPSY January 2025, plus a couple of other candles here during the PSY period, July, June this year. So this green line will provide the first level of support before the price testing the orange. So when the price passes through the orange, there may be a chance we'll see a selling climax somewhere around the red key level. But it's still early, I hope. By next session, I believe we will still be in transition, not all the way towards the selling climax yet. Unless this tariff thing really gone wild, then it's outside of everybody's control. So if you have bought the dip, still set a stop loss, because we don't know what's going to happen next. Uncertainty is the biggest enemy for any bullish move. Thanks for joining.